What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of the Athlete's Corner. This episode today is going to be focused on the hips. The main reason the hips are so important is because they are centralized around that core. We hit on this in one of the first videos, but I just want to kind of zone in on how important the hips are. They're so close to the core. So that means that that's part of your stability, that's part of your belt, that's part of your corset, because your hips are like right there. Not only that, but they're big muscles, right? Your butt, your hamstrings, your leg power is all here. This is your main source of power. Okay, so it's important for you to be able to move around that joint efficiently and well, and also have those muscles stabilized around that joint. There's so much motion around the hip because it is a ball and socket joint. So another place where that occurs is shoulders, right? So there's a lot of movement that can happen around my shoulders because ball and socket joint, right? You have a capsule and you have the head and you have the capsule, and it just, it rotates around it. So you get forces that can go in really any direction, okay? And so that's why there's a lot of motion around the hip. So when there's a lot of motion, there's a lot of care that has to be taken to making sure that you're moving well around that joint. So just like the core, there's a lot of different movements besides just sagittal, right? So sagittal meaning that plane of motion that's, kind of that vertical line. So these kind of movements in this plane here. So a lot of sagittal plane movements are flexion based, and so when we think about the hip, you think just kind of extension and flexion with the hip, which is great. That's the main movement of the hip, but also the hip it internally rotates, right? It internally rotates, it externally rotates. The hip tilts, right? Lateral tilt. So this little movement that I can do. My right hip is a little bit higher than my left right now. Neutral, my left hip is a little bit higher than my right hip. So that's another movement that people forget about. So you want to make sure that's stabilized as well. Another form of tilting in the hip is the anterior tilt and also the posterior tilt. So the anterior tilt is where you're going to find people that are here. So this movement is okay. Like, it's okay to have this, it's okay to do this movement, but to be stuck in this movement is where we get in trouble and where we get pain in our back and tightness in our front side. And so we want to make sure that we're neutral when we're just standing tall and just kind of in that natural stance. So you don't want to be here, an anterior tilt. You also don't want to be here. I can't even really do it that way. But you also don't want to be here in posterior tilt. So you see people that kind of have that flat back syndrome, right? They don't have that natural lordotic curve. They don't have, those natural curves in their spine. They're just here. So hip extension, right, is here. To come back, you kind of have to flex it back. You don't really think about flexing it when you're already neutral. So flexing after being in that extended position. So I got kettlebells here for the first exercise that I'm going to demonstrate, which is a double bell squat. All right, so there's a goblet squat that you've probably seen in the gym where you're going down, up and down with one. But it's cool to be able to use two, so you can really feel and force your hips, both sides, to work, and fight equally to get that activation. So it's really cool to kind of feel the hips better, especially if you're somebody that's trying to, get them activated. If you have like a weakness in your hips and you're trying to kind of get them back on track, it's good to use kettlebells to really feel what's going on a little bit better, just because that weight is, not distributed like a bar along a big bar level. Like, you have like this one centralized weight that's close to your body, and you can really feel what's going on a little bit better. It's just a different tool that people kind of think of it as more as a functional training tool. I like them. Okay, so for the double bell squat, we're going to drop it low into that squat, holding our kettlebells with nice packed shoulders, right? So you don't want to go down like that. that's gonna put you forward and it's gonna put you in too much of a curve in your upper back. Okay, neutral spine. The kettlebell's lying on my forearm, kind of like in a 45-degree angle. Nice posture. Feet in position. Drop it down in a nice squat, like we talked about in the squat video. Okay, so I dropped it straight down. You didn't see me push my hips back. You didn't see me get on my toes. You saw me go straight up and down with strong, stable hips, right? And push straight back up. Blowing out without letting those hips tilt anterior, like have it, without letting those hips tilt back or forward, okay? So you wanna make sure whenever you're squatting, you're keeping that position, and the kettlebells kind of help you really feel that glute activation when you're holding them. And if you're somebody that can't get low in a squat, in a deep squat, without holding a load, holding a kettlebell or like a heavy plate, just something heavy, helps sit you in that position low. So you can actually work on your mobility in your deep squat while you're kind of in that position. But that's something that you can do for activating the hips a little bit better and also just, get a great lower body workout. But you should definitely feel both sides working when you're holding those double bells, all right? And make sure you're stabilized as you go down. Keep in that position. You guys have seen this one before, the first one we're gonna do. You've seen this before. It's called fire hydrants. So for fire hydrants, you've seen people, rotate around quickly, trying to just loosen up their hips, open up their hips as a dynamic warm-up before they actually lift weights. But that's not really the best way to do that. We want to make sure our spine is neutral. We want to make sure we're in position before we start moving our limbs around, right? So you want to lock it in, brace your core, and then create the movement while you're in a stabilized position, okay? You guys can tell that I'm all about stability and good movement and posture. That's all I preach. And so once you have that right, everything else will follow. So for fire hydrants, we're in a quadruped, right? All fours, hands under your shoulders, nice angles, right? Make sure your position, your spine is neutral. Take that first leg, come around, all right? You come out a little bit forward if you want to get your knee out of the way. Bring your hands a little bit forward for this if you need to. But come up, come around, okay? Without opening either way, without moving your back, right? So you want to be able to move the hip, rotate the hip, that ball and socket joint without any kind of movement elsewhere, all right? So you go back or forward without any of this, Keep that position while that hip rotates around that joint, okay? When you do that, you're not going to be compensating with your back muscles or with your loading this side more to open up, right? Equal weight distribution in your hands, straight back, only move from the hip. I like doing this with a mini band personally to add like a little bit of resistance. But honestly, if you have hips that are just that's your weak point, you don't even need a mini band. So we're gonna lay on our side. We're going to open up our hips, okay, without opening up our whole body. So again, we're only moving from the hips and we're trying to activate those rotational patterns in your hip. So we're going to activate the glute and stretch the opposite side. So just have your knee down, okay? If you need to, if you're somebody that has bad knees, you're going to always want your knees to be padded when you're doing this, so you're not feeling any pain. So open up that leg, squeeze that back glute, kind of breathe into it, neutralize the core as well. I'm holding it, I'm squeezing for 3, 2, 1, and now I'm going to release and find that my leg actually relaxes a little bit more. Once I push all that blood to the back and contract this back side, it's opening up the front side because you're kind of distracting that front side from being overactive. And so I'm actually getting a better stretch after doing that glute activation technique. Okay? So we'll do it again. Squeeze in that new position, so it should be a little bit harder. Squeeze. And then relax. Like this hurts me because I have a tendency to be tight in my anterior compartment. And so this is really hard for me. Whew. Okay, take your time coming back because you just put yourself under a lot of neural stress, right? We're in a high stretch right there, so take your time. Don't shock your body when you come back. So that's a glute activation technique while you're kind of stretching out the side that may be a tight area for you. The last thing we have is kind of that unilateral focus on the hip, right? So unilateral movements are great for stability. They can be advanced if you're somebody that doesn't have the best balance. So definitely progress into this slowly, but it's something that you can definitely do that's helpful. So with our box, we're just gonna do a step up, okay? So this step up though, I want you to focus on moving from the hip without pushing off from that back leg, without pushing off, getting that extra force up. So slow on the way down. You can hold on to something if that helps you. Slow, touch with my toe, not all the way. Touch with my toe. Push through my heel, come back up. Okay? So this is a lot harder actually to do this movement. Okay? It's a lot harder to do that than to drop below and push off, because we're forcing you to work those muscles and only those muscles, all right? Only that side of the leg. And so try that. If you're advanced, try pistol squats. Do a low box. That's another unilateral. So like the one-legged pistol squat where you're dropping down, pushing straight back up. All right, that's going to really challenge you if you guys have that kind of strength to do that. But that's kind of what we're focused on when we're doing hip movements that aren't the big deadlift, the big squat movements. You can always kind of activate first and then move on to those movements, okay? So it's important to make sure that this is set up nicely before you go into your squat with your typical overactive quads, you know, and then doing it all on your toes. We want to make sure that we're sitting back into that squat. So we need to activate first because the hips are our hero, okay? Don't forget it. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks again for following me for another TB Fit video at the Athlete's Corner. Videos are launched every Monday. So come back, check it out, our next video next Monday, and we'll get into some different stuff. Comment below, interact with each other, interact with me, to continue this learning process for sure. Follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that. Learn some new things. I post different things on my different platforms. Sometimes the same thing, but you know, just more information, so why not? So definitely check out those below. I'll put those links below. But until next time, I will see you. Be well. Thanks again. TB out.